Okay, so today I want to go through this audio here. It's pretty interesting. Um, this was from about I think it was 3:18 a.m. In the forest. And there's some interesting things going on. Let's go ahead and take a listen to this. This is the original dry recording. Sorry, you're going to hear a lot of bugs, mostly unless you put headphones on for this first go, but I'm going to clean it up in a minute. Okay, so that was the original recording. So what I'm going to do is get rid of a lot of those high frequency insects that are making a lot of noise. So on this one, again, I'm on Adobe Audition, and I am in just the waveform window right now. And I don't normally do it this way because I can't figure out how to export anything if I do it this way, but for the video, it seems to make a lot more sense that way. You can see the spectrogram as we're adjusting, and you kind of know where the sounds are coming from. All right, so I've got, it's just kind of a preset that has all of the effects that I like to use. So I've got those preloaded and pretty well balanced how I want them. I've got my go-to EQ that I've actually rolled off quite a bit of that high-end frequency because you can kind of see from this little snapshot with the yellow line up here that this is the original up here. This is very loud compared to the area that we are interested in. The frequency range is right here. And so since it's down here, there's not much to hear versus the insects at the high frequency, which are way up here, up in gain. So the higher up, the louder, the lower, the quieter. Same with the low end. There's always just a low end rumble everywhere. So we're going to roll that off. So I've got that curve going right here. So we've got lowering of that frequency and then kind of a steeper curve. You can adjust the curve here. So I've got it about where I want it, where it's really dropping off those high ends. Doesn't do everything completely, like it doesn't kill it, but it certainly removes quite a bit of gain from it. So I've got that set, and then kind of as an extra boost to get rid of it, to get rid of those high end, I've got this FFT filter where I bumped it up just a little in that area that we want it to be. So flat line at 0 would have been right through there. So I've just raised it a little bit before I dip down and really hit where those insects are. So this is kind of a twofold approach to get rid of that insect sound. And I don't mind making it extreme because we have the slider here. So just like on the waveform, I'm sorry, on the multi-track window, you've also got this little mix slider, which I'm kind of starting to really like, that allows us to go from dry, which is the original recording, all the way to wet, which is the signal going only through the effects channel. And then everything in between is kind of a combination of both the dry channel and the effects channel. So you're able to kind of create a more listenable sound. And the goal for me is to be able to bring out the subject matter and still be able to feel like you're there in the forest, and where you've got better depth perception and you can kind of tell, where things are coming from, proximity to some degree, but it really it immerses you into the mix. And if you go too heavy on the effects, you lose all of that. So I don't like to do that a whole lot. Other things that I'm using, one knob louder, it just raises the gain. This EQ, this is an extra roll off on the low end. And I went ahead and used the WNS noise reduction just to kind of give us a little extra. The gain actually is turned up a bit for the video because I know the volume isn't very loud to begin with. So I went ahead and boosted our gain on the input and the output. So let's go ahead and go extreme on the wet, and then let's listen again. And I'm pretty sure those were owls right there. So what I'm hearing in this mix so far is we've got the owls at the beginning, and then even throughout you'll still hear some of the owl kind of in the background. Then we've got whatever this is, and I don't know what it is. It could be a coyote, it could be something else entirely. And this is probably the closest subject in this mix. And then kind of right behind that, we've got definitely a coyote that's hitting this higher frequency up here. So we've got at least 3 different critters involved in this one. Okay, so now we've got a pretty good identification when we went full wet. Now the final mix is, and I'm just going to play it, and then I'm going to kind of slide this a little bit and see if I can't dial in where to my ear it kind of makes the most sense, where the noise floor isn't too high, but the subject matter isn't too low. And everybody's mix would be different in this situation according to their ears. So I'm just doing it for me. All right. So I like that noise floor. I like to lower it. It's just too much right there for me. And yes, the insects come back in when you do that. Okay, so that's for what I'm listening to with my headphones on. That's acceptable to me. However, if you're just watching this with the volume from your iPhone just playing like on a speaker, you're probably this mix is probably not what you would want for that. So the device kind of matters too. So I always recommend headphones. Headphones are going to give you the best clarity, and especially with these type of recordings that are attempting to be binaural, that they are designed for headphones, designed for independent ear listening, where the sound from one speaker doesn't cross over into the other ear. Puts you in there a little bit immersively, and you can kind of hear where things are coming from. Okay, so that is this area that I recorded this is the same area from a week before that I recorded kind of an interesting wood knock. So we're going to look at that next. All right, so this is going to be the dry version first, and this is the knock from a week or so earlier in the same spot. Let's see, this is probably around 10:15 at night. Yeah, this one was at 10:14 to be specific. 10:14. All right, let's have a listen. Okay. All right, so really there's not a lot of cleanup that needs to be done, but we're going to try to get those bugs out on that high frequency and see if we can listen to this again. From what I'm gathering, I've got a little sound, maybe a little a snap of a twig, which is right here. This little line right here, this vertical line. It's kind of a higher pitch pop. Then there's a bit of silence, and then right before the knock, hopefully you'll be able to hear this. It sounds almost like something is grabbed. I don't know, in my mind, I picture like a branch being picked up from the ground and just conveniently picked up. And then you hear the knock, and this knock's very close. It's very close. But then you hear something go thud, and in my mind, I picture whatever it was picked up over here, the one knock, and then it's just dropped in the same place. Then we got a little bit of silence, maybe some stuff going on here. Sounds like a step is taken right there, and then I think this is a bug that goes kind of zooming by. I don't know that it's relevant to that step. So let's listen again, and I've got it cleaned up a little bit. I'm going to kind of dial it in with my slider over here. And then thud. So you can hear a couple more steps right there too. Something takes a couple more steps. Just kind of a crunch. Yeah, so prior to this, so this is hour and 44 minutes in. Prior to that, there's no approach that I'm seeing. In other words, I don't see footsteps coming in that you would normally think, or that you would normally see for a human, a hiker or something walking in. But what we do have is, this is probably a plane. Could be a, let's listen. Yeah, that's a jet. So we got a jet that's flying over, making a lot of noise. This little line you see here, that's just the kind of that whistle from the jet. Then we've got another, come on. Then we've got another jet that goes by. So we have two jets going by. This right here, I think is still going to be part of the jet, but it's so buried in this low end noise that there's no way to really know what it is. No telling. But what I don't see are the telltale signs of footsteps that you would see. I think this clip doesn't go back far enough to when I walked away. Another plane, jet. Yeah. A lot of air traffic that night. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to where the recording kind of started. This is where I'm setting up the recorder and all that good stuff. It's about right there. See how much noise? Now I'm doing some stuff here, but all of this, these are just taking steps in kind of the surrounding area. It's pretty overgrown. So you can hear my dog panting in there. But you can tell, I think I zipped up my backpack at some point. But a lot of noise, just messing around, not even doing anything. These mics are really sensitive. They pick up a lot. Yeah, and I'm just kind of hiking out at this point. I think this is the one. Since I'm here, I'm going to show you something. There we go. So, okay, so this right here. Oh, why did I do that? It's just there. There we go. What I want to show you here is, yes, this looks very interesting. It is not anything terribly cool. What it is, it's me, and I am, what did I figure, about 1,000 yards away. I wanted to do a test vocal just to see what the signature looks like for a human. And so this is me kind of doing a little whoop. What you see is you've got kind of the frequency where it goes up, but if you look, there's an overtone up here. And this is something that Shane from Tabs talks about. It's that when it's a human doing it, there's always that other layer up here. I assume it's just an overtone that it's produced that's kind of the signature of it being a human and not anything else. So I thought that was pretty interesting. That specific whoop that I did there, I tried to mimic the one that I actually heard the first time I ever really heard a vocal that I felt could very likely be a Sasquatch. It was in the big thicket in Texas, and that's what I heard, and I thought, wow. And it was loud. It was far away, but it was loud. So, yeah. I don't know what this knock, I don't know who knocks. It just walks up in the middle of the night, picks up a stick, and does one little knock on a tree and then drops the stick and then doesn't really go anywhere for a while. But you can use your imagination, I'm sure. Anyway, I hope you found this interesting. If you like it and you want more, I don't do a lot of videos. At least I don't put out videos every day. Just kind of, I don't know, maybe I'll start doing it weekly to just highlight some of the interesting things that I find. But I don't try to waste. I don't like it when, if I subscribe to somebody on YouTube and I just get just daily something just to have something. It drives me nuts. So I promise not to do that. If I'm going to post something, it'll be interesting. It won't waste your time.